Isabella loves to sing and dance, and she thinks she was born to play the angel in her church's Christmas pageant. There's just one problem. She's cast as the little drummer girl, and you can read all about her story in the brand new book from our friend Sheila Walsh.
Forever loved by the CBN family, Sheila Walsh has found great success as an author, a conference speaker, and a TV show host. Her latest project is a children's Christmas book, which tells of a little girl named Isabella, who gets a different part in the Christmas play than the one she so badly wanted. With her trademark charm and humor, Sheila reminds us in The Little Drummer Girl that we all have a gift to give the King, ourselves.
Well, Sheila's back with us now, and we're so glad always when you come. It's a treat to have you here.
Oh, I just love being with you, Terry. It feels like old home week.
Well, it is old home week. That's why it feels that way. Love the book. The Little Drummer Girl, first of all, the cutest cover ever. I have a granddaughter named Isabella, so I really enjoyed it. It was perfect. I'm just reading the book and enjoying every minute of it. But tell us a little bit about Isabella, because she is the main character and she has quite a personality.
She does. And her thing is, when she realizes they're casting for the nativity play, her thing is the angel, a speaking part, you know, and she would look spectacular. And then she doesn't get the part and she's so disappointed. But it's my heart in writing the book was to have mums and dads sit down with their children, grandparents sit down with their children, and read through a story that hopefully would make them smile, but then get back to what the whole point of Christmas. When Isabella finds herself at the feet of Jesus, she's found the most perfect place of all.
You know, one of the things I loved about the book was that you allow Isabella to be disappointed, and nobody's rushing in to give her a trophy or save her or make it somehow this compelling victory. And as parents, we really need to let our kids contend with the reality of life so they can grow up to be normal, right?
As normal as, you know, as any of our kids grow up to be. But no, that's really true, because when our son is now, he'll be 29 next week, which just blows me away.
That blows me away.
But one of the things we talked about when he was little was we need to celebrate. Every time says God no, God says no. We celebrate every bit as much as when God says yes.
Yes.
And even like when he was going to graduate school, I thought he should go to SMU, and that was a great school. And I knew a couple of the professors, so I talked to them. But and then God closed that door, and now I think it was perfect. He went to UNT Dallas, and it was perfect. So God knows what he's doing.
Oh, and he's got, you know, there's such promise in the Word about how he knows our name. He's had the days planned before the first one ever came to be. You have wrote another book about Christmas, not a children's book, but a book about the wonder of Christmas. What is it about this season that so resonates with you?
You know, I think one of the things is, like, I love to study the Christmas carols and when were they written and who wrote them. And when I was studying about Silent Night, I realized there was a young Austrian priest that wrote it as a poem, just as a poem in the 1800s. And then a friend of his put it to music. And it was only, if you fast forward to the First World War, Christmas Eve, they're in the trenches, mustard gas, horrible. Young boys on both sides, just wanting to be home. But there's one gentleman on the German side who used to sing with the Berlin Opera, stands up and begins into this freezing cold night air to sing Silent Night in German. And the British soldiers recognized the tune. And it was soon they're all standing and singing. And it was like for that moment, there was a ceasefire. And that's my prayer for every single person this Christmas, that there would be a ceasefire in our souls. You know, there would just be the sense of, because Jesus came, it split history in two. Nothing's the same anymore.
And that we would understand, you know, I was driving into my neighborhood the other day, which is already, you know, rife with decorations and things, which I love. But I thought, you know, God, they declare your goodness and your name and your presence when they don't even know it. But oh, that we would know it as a nation that's been so blessed by God. Well, let's go back to your book, because Isabella, this little girl, is darling, and she discovers her role has meaning in God's plan. And that's really what you're talking about, having taught Christian when he was a child, that God has it all. We don't have to be anxious, but we can be disappointed sometimes.
I know, and I think that's important to know that you get to come to God as you are, not as you wish you were.
Yes.
That's always been huge for me as a mom, to say to Christian, you get to be angry, you get to be disappointed. You get to feel all those things in God's presence.
Yeah.
That's what I love about the way that Jesus modeled that for us on that final night with his closest friends, and he's in the garden. And he doesn't hide the fact that he is in so much physical, emotional, and spiritual pain. But he processes his pain in the presence of his Father.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, the difference. You get to kind of think Christmas isn't great for everybody. I mean, some people struggle.
Not
There's
at all.
missing people. You know, there's people
Yes.
that an empty chair this Christmas. But I want them to remember that God has come to us and he's changed everything.
Yes. You know, sometimes that's really hard to grasp, because just as you're talking about, sometimes we've lost people in the holiday, and the holiday's a reminder of that. Sometimes there's brokenness in our relationships with people, and it can be a time that's very discouraging and hard to kind of rise up. You have to sometimes make intentional moments, you know, in those places to come to the music, the message, community during that
Absolutely.
time. Go ahead.
One of the things that I think is really, really important is when COVID hit, something shifted, not just internationally, something shifted spiritually. And things have not been quite the same. And I think a lot of people pulled back from church because it's like, well, now we can just sit and watch it on TV with a cup of coffee.
And then got comfy.
Yeah, and I think, no, as the days are growing closer, as we know that Christ is returning, we need to get together and encourage one another. Some Sundays I don't feel like going because I was out speaking somewhere on a Saturday, and I think, oh, how lovely it'd be just to stay at home and watch the football. But there's something about being with God's people that really builds us up together.
He's created us for that, really. You know, I was talking yesterday with one of my kids, just casually at home, talking about the gift of contentment. You know, I feel like that's one of the things that sort of weaseled its way into Isabella's life in all of this when she finally got the drum. I mean, the drum made the difference, but we all want recognition. We all want to know that we know that we know, not just that God loves us, but we like to be admired by other people. And really, you know, she came into this role. It wasn't what she wanted, but she accepted it, and then she played that drum with all her little heart, and there's a message in that for us.
Yeah, there is, and I also think probably Mary wasn't that thrilled that there's a drummer while her baby's sleeping. But yeah, no, that is, you're right, Terry. It was sometimes we have these ideas for our life of what we think our life will look like, and when God opens a different door, we walk through with everything in us, and we serve God with everything in. And that's what Isabella does. I mean, she plays that drum like no one has ever played the drum before. But it comes back to the whole part of when she realizes that with all the rest of the cast and the angel, that none of them are the star of the show.
Yeah.
Star of the show is that little baby in the manger, and
if
that
everybody
changes everything.
just plays their part, it all comes together. You know, it's Advent, and the first candle was hope, and we've just begun a week of lighting the candle of peace. And any word for people as you're getting ready and moving into this yourself about finding those things in their lives?
I would just really encourage people to find a few moments to be alone with the Lord. Because life is so busy, and I don't even go to the mall anymore. I mean, it's nuts. It's like a zoo.
Yes.
But if you're not careful, you don't carve out enough time to just be quiet and be with the Lord. There's something, I do this thing, my husband thinks I'm nuts, and he's watching it now. Hello. I'll drag a chair into the living room, and I sit there, and I'm like, hello, Lord, I'm in your presence. Because James tells us, if you draw near to him, he will draw near to you.
I have my chair and his in my living room as well every morning. So while he's meeting with you, he's meeting with me. Isn't it amazing?
I love that.
I just want all of you to know Isabella's story is told in Sheila Walsh's brand new book. It's called The Little Drummer Girl. I'm sure there's a little girl in your family that would love to get this Christmas. It's available wherever books are sold. Thank you. What a treat to have you here.
Love being with you. You do such a brilliant job.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year. Come soon.